Alright everybody, let's begin in child's pose. Get down on your knees with feet together and your knees apart. Sit your butt down on your feet as you rest your forehead on the mat with your arms straight in front of you. Take a couple breaths here to feel how your entire body lifts up when you inhale and relaxes down with every exhale. Just relax here and realize that you're actually in a deep squat. The further you push your butt back toward your heels, the more it's like being in a deep squat. Just relaxing. And now walk your hands to the right and look under your left armpit. You might feel a stretch on the left side of your body. Try to keep your butt down. Bring your hands to the center and then bring them to the left as you look under your right armpit. Remember to breathe. Keep the butt down. Come back to center. Go on hands and knees and let's go through cat-cow 3 times. Inhale as you arch your back, look up, and stick your bum out. Exhale as you round your back and tuck your tailbone. Inhale as you arch up and stick your butt out. Exhale as you round your back and tuck your tailbone. One more time. Inhale as you arch your back and stick your bum out. Hold this arched position as you tuck your toes and lift your hips up into your first downward dog. Let's not spend too much time here. Walk your feet to your hands and chair pose. Bend your knees and sit down in an imaginary chair as you raise your arms up. Wrist warm up. Interlace your fingers and bring your arms down in front of your chest and press your forearms together while you move your hands around. Keep your forearms together. Release that and do a forward fold. And then a half forward fold, sliding your hands up your legs as high as you need to flatten your back. And then stand up straight with a flat back and raise your arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers as if you're going to point a gun and bring your hands to the right. Back to the center. Then to the left. Back to the center. And reach backwards, looking up at your hands. And then swan dive, forward fold. Hands down to the mat. Step the left foot back into a lunge and raise your arms up into your first crescent pose. Take a deep breath and on the exhale, bring the hands down. Step back into plank. Lower down all the way and do a baby cobra pose where you lift your chest up. And then tuck your toes and press yourself up into downward facing dog. Take a breath here in downward facing dog. And then walk your feet toward your hands and go into chair pose. Sit in your imaginary chair as you raise your arms. Interlace your fingers and bring your arms down in front of you. Press your forearms together as you move your hands around in the other direction this time. Keep your forearms together as you move your wrists around. Move it in both directions. Release that and forward fold, hands toward the mat, and then half forward fold, sliding your hands up your shin as high as necessary to make a flat back. Come up with a flat back as you raise your arms up to the sky as high as possible while getting on your tippy toes and maybe even looking backwards, extending yourself as high as you can toward the sky, and then swan diving, forward fold, hands to the mat, and then step the right foot back into a lunge and raise your arms up for crescent pose on the other side. Relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath here, and on the exhale, bring the hands down and step back into plank. Bring your body down like you're doing a negative push-up. Lower down all the way and do a baby cobra pose where you lift your chest up. And then tuck your toes and press yourself up into downward facing dog. And breathe, stretching out the backs of your legs. You can pedal the feet if you like to move them around back and forth. You could also do some shoulder rolls. I love shoulder rolls in downward dog. Now set your knees down, come upright. Set the right foot forward. Tuck your back toes, raise the back knee up and step forward. Then, step the right foot back into a lunge and raise your arms. Warrior 2. Put the back heel down and make your arms face forward and backward while you look over your left fingertips. Reverse warrior. Raise the left palm up as you slide your right hand down your leg. Extended side angle pose. Put your left forearm on your left thigh as you reach your right arm overhead. Twisted crescent. Bring your right arm down and raise your left arm up and your back heel up. Step back into plank. Vinyasa. Send the shoulders forward as you lower down and go into upward facing dog, where nothing touches the mat except the tops of your feet and your hands. And then downward facing dog. Pressing your hips up to the sky. Take 3 breaths here. You can pedal the feet here. You can also swivel your feet so you go on the blades of your feet. Knees down, come upright, left foot forward, tuck the back toes, raise the back knee up, and step forward. Bring the left leg back into a lunge with the arms up toward the sky. Relax the shoulders. Warrior 2. Put the back heel down. Left arm back, right arm forward, looking over your right fingertips. Reverse warrior. Raise the right palm up as you slide your left hand down your leg and reach your right arm overhead. Bend the front knee to deepen the stretch. Extended side angle pose. Right forearm on your right thigh as you reach your left arm forward. Twisted crescent. Left arm down and raise your right arm up and your back heel up as well. Take a breath here. Step back to plank. Vinyasa. Lower down by sending the shoulders forward and go into upward facing dog. And exhale as you go into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Lengthen your spine by pushing through the shoulders, raising your butt, and driving the heels down. Set your knees down. Come upright. Step the right foot forward. Tuck the back toes. Raise the back knee up and step it forward. Half chair. Raise the left leg and place it on the right thigh. Try to sit in an imaginary chair. The deeper you sit, the more you'll feel a stretch in your glutes. Actively keep that left knee down to externally rotate that hip open. From here, we transition to Kung Fu pose. Stand up and raise the left knee as high as it'll go. Raise it up even higher now, and then straighten the leg and slide it backwards to Warrior 3. Let's go flying as you send your left leg back up and reach your arms and torso forward. And then drop it down into standing splits. Relax the shoulders and breathe for a moment. Go back to Warrior 3 and transition to Warrior 2 with the arms reaching toward the sides. Relax the shoulders and gaze over your right fingers. Your front knee is bent 90 degrees and back leg is straight. Make sure the inner arch on your back heel is lifted. Reverse that warrior. Raise the right arm up as your left arm goes down your back leg. Extended side angle pose. Put the right arm on the right forearm and reach the left arm overhead. If you're comfortable here and want to go deeper, place the right hand down next to your right foot. Twisted crescent. Left arm down and right arm up. Raise the back heel up as you switch your hands. From here, we progress to your first twisted half moon. Set your left hand 6 inches ahead as you raise your back leg up into the air. You can use a block or book. If you can't, straighten your standing leg. Bring the back foot down and step back into downward dog. 3 deep breaths here. You can look at your hands or you could look at your thighs. It's up to you. Spend a couple moments here in downward dog, pressing the heels down toward the ground, pushing through the shoulders, lengthening the spine, and then walk your feet toward your hands. And then I want you to keep that head down, grab opposite elbows, and then let it go and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your sweet time to roll up so that each bone stacks on top of the other until your shoulders eventually roll backwards and your head comes up. Now that you're standing upright, half chair. Raise the right leg up and place it on the left thigh as you sit in your chair. The deeper you sit in this chair, the more you will stretch your glutes. Try to keep the right knee down. And then Kung Fu pose. Stand and raise the right leg up high. Raise it up even higher. Then straighten your leg the best you can and hold it up there for 3, 2, 1. Let's go flying in Warrior 3. You could bring your hands to your heart for extra stability. And then standing splits. Put the hands down on the mat. Relax your shoulders. And back to Warrior 3 and Warrior 2. Stepping that back heel down, bending the front knee, left arm forward, right arm backward, gazing over your left fingertips. The more you bend that front knee, the deeper this stretch is going to be now that you reverse the warrior. Bend the front knee to accentuate the stretch. Maybe this time, putting the lower hand behind your back as a variation. Extended side angle pose. Left arm down and right arm reaching forward. Really twist out of your spine there. Keep the front knee bent. Twisted crescent. Right arm down and left arm up as the back heel comes up as well. Take a moment here to ready yourself for twisted half moon. Place the right hand forward and raise the back leg up while holding the rest of that shape. Downward dog. Step that foot down and step back into downward dog. Let's set ourselves up for frog pose. In frog pose, you want to lay yourself like this, perpendicular to the mat, with your shins parallel to each other. And I want you to go all the way forward until the front of your hips touch the floor, and then push yourself all the way back 3 times. Just dynamically moving in and out of frog pose. Try not to make a pain face. Enjoy it and note the flexibility here and how it will improve with each session. And it won't be as excruciating. Now that you've done that 3 times, straighten your left leg and do the same thing. With your right knee bent and your left leg straight, dynamically move forward all the way until the front of your hips touch the ground, and then move backwards. You can move deeper as you go backwards until eventually you could sit. This will come in time. Go all the way forward and all the way backwards. On your way back, when you bring your butt back, you could also raise the toes up. Now let's switch sides and do that 3 times as well. Just make sure that you go all the way forward and then all the way back more than you think you can. Raise the toes up as you sit back. Now that we've done that 3 times, go back into frog pose with both knees bent again and just go forward and back once and note how much more freedom you have there. I want you to now push your butt back a little bit more and move your hips in a circle as if you're twerking or in any direction in this position to free up the deep groin area even more. All right, now that you've had enough of that, let's go into a wide squat by using our hands to just transition from frog pose into a very wide squat. Now from there, gracefully go into a narrow squat on your toes with the heels lifted and get ready for Cossack squats. But first, balance in this toe squat with your hands at your heart. Good. Now extend the right leg straight as your body is over your left foot. And then transition from one to the other a few times. You can keep your hands on the floor for stability, but eventually I want you to reduce your assistance with your hands and maybe just keep your hands in front of your chest and just do this entirely with your full body weight. Now from there, let's transition into downward dog. Get into downward dog. Go into one-legged down dog by raising your left leg up. Get that leg as high as it'll go, and then drive the right heel down toward the ground. Take a deep breath and breathe into the stretch. From this one-legged downward dog, bring the left knee to the nose as you bring your shoulders forward. Do your best to bring the left knee toward your nose and your heel to your butt, and step that foot forward between the hands. And raise your arms for crescent pose. Bring your hands to your heart and shift your torso slowly to the left. Twist as much as you can with your torso first, and then go down until you can hook your right elbow on your left thigh. I want you to press that elbow against the thigh so much that your hands end up in the middle of your chest. Now lower your back knee all the way down with control. Put the right hand down on the mat. Kick the back foot up and grab it with your left hand. Grab the pinky side preferably. See if you could look back at your foot. You can alternate between kicking the foot away from your butt and pulling it in toward you using your biceps. Breathe. Enjoy this feeling. Try to bring the right hip forward and down to open up your hip flexors even more. Good job. Now release that gracefully. With control, lower that back foot down. Tuck the back toes and raise the back knee up as you raise your arms up into a high lunge. Gently push off your back foot and float to Warrior 3. And just gracefully transition to standing splits. And then from standing splits, we do standing half moon by simply raising the left arm up. Step that foot down and go into downward facing dog. Take a moment here to collect yourself in downward facing dog and raise the right leg up. And then bring that knee to nose. Really get tight. Bring the shoulders forward, knees to nose, heel to butt. And then step it through and raise your arms up into crescent pose. Bring your hands to prayer and actively shift your torso all the way to the right. Shift as much as you can until you can hook that left elbow on your right thigh. And you can push that elbow against the thigh so that your hands end up in the center of your chest. Then lower your back knee all the way down slowly. Release the bind. Left hand down. Kick the back foot up and grab it with your right hand. Again, grab the pinky side of your foot, preferably, and look back at your foot. Again, you can alternate between kicking the foot away from the butt and pulling it in toward you using your biceps. You can also just bring your left hip forward and down. Don't forget to breathe. From there, let's release the bind. Tuck the back toes and raise the back knee up as you raise your arms up into a high lunge. From high lunge, float to Warrior 3, balance for a moment, and then bring your hands down into standing splits. And then twisted half moon. Simply raise your right arm up. Breathe. Step the back foot down and go into downward facing dog. Good job. Vinyasa. Go into plank and lower your body slowly by sending it forward and down. Transition to upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Now that we're almost done, let's transition toward the mat. Bring your knees down and sit your butt down to the left of your foot. Bring the right foot over to the left of your left knee. Hook your left elbow around your right knee and pull it toward you as you lift the chest up. The more you pull that knee toward your chest and make your chest proud, the more you might feel a stretch in your hips. If you don't feel a stretch, try to bring your right butt down closer to the floor. Switch sides. Switch the cross of your legs. This time, putting the right elbow around your left knee and pulling that knee toward you again as you lift your chest proud. If you want to intensify the stretch, plant the left side of your butt down on the ground more. Let's transition to Happy Baby. Lay down on your back and grab the outsides of your feet. If it's too difficult to grab the feet, you can grab the ankles and pull the knees toward the ground. The arms are in between the legs while the hands reaching outside the legs. Half Happy Baby. Release only the left foot and lay your left leg straight down on the ground. Switch sides. Bring the left foot back up into the full Happy Baby position. Then, release the right foot and straighten it down on the ground. Take a deep breath here and go back to Happy Baby one last time by bringing your right foot back toward you. And let's release that and set your feet down with your knees up and your arms to your sides. Time for one-legged bridges. Put your left foot over your right knee and raise your butt up. Squeeze your butt as you lift it up. Then, squeeze your abs as you lower your butt down. Do this slowly. Again, squeeze your glutes as you raise the butt up, and this might be opening up your left hip. Do this a couple more times. Each time you lower down, I want you to squeeze your abs. And the more you squeeze them, the more you gradually will come down one vertebrae at a time. When you raise your hips, try to keep the left knee down. Switch sides. Again, 3 times here. Squeeze your glutes to help lift them up as high as possible. Working that hip extension. Squeeze the glutes as you raise your hips and squeeze the abs on the way down. When your hips are in the air, keep the right knee down. Do one more bridge at your own pace. Feel how good it feels to bring it down one vertebrae at a time. Thread the needle time. While maintaining this position, grab the back of your left thigh with both your hands and pull your left knee toward your face. If you need more of a stretch, grab the shin. Alright, now switch sides. Thread the needle with the right foot over the left knee this time, and grab the back of your right thigh. Pull the right knee toward you for a glute stretch there. Release that and pull both knees toward your face and put your hands to the side like in a T position and twist to the left, dropping your knees to the left as you look to the right. You can use your left hand on your right knee to keep that knee down to deepen the twist. Breathe here and enjoy the merits of your work. Switch sides. Bring the knees over to the right as you look over to the left. Place your right hand over the knees to keep them down. Bring the knees up. Squeeze your knees, curl up into a tight ball as tight as you can. And then release them down. Drop your legs straight down with your arms to the side and relax here for however long you want as you are in this relaxed meditative state with your hips happy and free. I hope you've enjoyed this session.